Hello and welcome to the Graphics Profiles, the official podcast of Graphics Pro and Graphics Pro Expo, covering the graphics market online, in print, and in person. I'm your host, Regan Dickinson. Our guest for episode 44 is Jeff Morgan, owner of Recognitions, Awards, and more in Aviston, Illinois. Jeff is an Air Force veteran who got things started by providing an array of custom gift and recognition products for military customers, and has since diversified his customer base and production methods into a growing online and brick and mortar business. But before we talk to Jeff about the keys to his company's growth and success, here's a quick word from our sponsor, PPAI, the Promotional Products Association International.
Are you looking for ways to make your business even more successful in 2023? The PPAI Expo, January 9th through 12th, is the best place to find the connections you need to make that happen. On top of networking while on the show floor, you can attend targeted networking events designed to meet your specific needs. Find your people and grow your network at the PPAI Expo. See the full schedule of events at ppai.org/expo.
And I'm here with Jeff Morgan, owner of Recognitions, Awards, and more. So, Jeff, as I understand it, you're an Air Force veteran, and then you got into this business. And I'm curious, obviously you do a lot of military work. That is, military gifts, shadow boxes, display cases, medals, pins, etc., for that particular segment of the market. And I'm curious about how you went from being a retired Air Force to how you got into this business, or if you were actually kind of looking at this before you retired.
Well, actually, probably, I retired in 2007 from the Air Force for 22 years. And probably around 1995, I started making shadow boxes and displays for guys in the unit that was retiring. And it kind of morphed from that. And my wife told me, whatever money you make from your shadow boxes, you can buy equipment. So it wasn't coming out of the household budget.
Yeah, right.
And then I ran her out of 2 garages, and then, come 2007, decided to retire, and something to make up a little bit in retirement, other than just the shadow boxes, because that wasn't going to be enough. So there wasn't a awards or trophy shop in the county. So we decided to open up Recognitions, Awards, and more.
Okay. So you kind of already had a market built in, that is the military market, right?
Right.
Because, you already knew people there, et cetera, and you had already been doing things for them before you retired from the Air Force. So that kind of led into a more comprehensive business. And so how did that business grow from when you first started, after you retired, to where you are now?
Well, it kind of slowly at first, but we had been out on the web since 2001, way back, when the web was still fairly new.
Yeah.
For most of us, 2001, I had taken a class in the Air Force. It was how to build a website with Microsoft Front Page. Ended up making a single page website. And then PayPal was new again, way back then, and we used them for credit card processing. And so being out since that long, our web presence has grown. So, you search, for like Air Force shadow boxes or military shadow boxes, we're usually one of the top non-paid ads out there.
Okay. So you're showing up pretty high on the organic search, at least. And is that due mainly to the nature of the fact that you had started a website so early on in the game, so to speak? Because I assume that helps, just the longevity.
I think a lot of it does, but also, on the website side of things, making sure you have your keywords. For those that do their own search engine optimization stuff, your keywords and your meta tags and stuff like that, making sure that's relevant.
Mm-hmm. And you're selling online, is that correct? So
yes.
do you do retail and online e-commerce?
Yes, we do. Yep.
Okay.
We also we dive into we use Etsy as a platform, and also Amazon.
Okay. And so on the website, when you sell online, what's kind of the back end look like that? How is that? What have you found is working best for you to kind of push that e-commerce side of it?
We use Lightspeed, their e-com portion. Lightspeed was what we have found that worked best for us. Probably, we've probably been with them now probably 7, maybe 8 years. Because for a company that's got a lot of products, switching over from one to another, I mean, there's some time involved with that, just because you have so many products you have to put in.
Right.
But with the e-com, that's up and running 24/7. We don't have to be there to take orders. So that really helps.
Right. What does that order process look like for you? Do you have kind of like stock products that all you need to do from there is make sure they're decorated properly, or how does that work?
So, we get the order comes in, we print it out. If we need to make a plate for it, or add in any ribbons or devices that they might need with the order, then we get that together, and then goes to our shipping department, where we have a kind of our standard stock displays there ready to go, because sometimes they need it by the end of the week, and we're able to usually make that deadline for them because we have it on the shelf and ready to ship out.
Okay. Well, what does the shop setup look like for you layout wise?
We've got what we call our front shop and our back shop. So our back shop is like our displays, our woodworking portion of it. So our building split almost in half, with the wood shop being in the back half, making those displays, finishing them. And then it goes, we've got our shipping department, which will take the finished displays and we can roll them right into that. Then they, put the glass and the backboard on it, and then able to package it up and ship it out.
Okay. And so what type of equipment do y'all have for personalization?
For personalization, we have sublimation, and 2017, we got our first UV printer. And then we got 2 years ago, we got a roll-to-roll UV printer, and then also laser engraver.
Okay. So what are you doing with the UV printer? How's that kind of expanded your horizons, so to speak, from a personalization standpoint?
Right. It was kind of a game changer. And I think it really saved our business during COVID, being able to have the capability of putting color on items, signage, yard signs and stuff. But our intent when we bought the machine was to be able to print on our shadow boxes,
right,
or a portion of them, just to add that color to it. And I think, the trend of the awards industry was going towards color on a lot of things, 5 years ago.
Right.
So that's what we originally got it for, was that. And then after having it, and it's sitting there, kind of trying to think, okay, what's some other things we can do? And one of our bigger sellers is what we call a retirement plaque. And we're able to put the ribbons, the person's ribbons on there, their ranks, and kind of a duty station section on there. And they're able to fully customize it, how they want.
Okay, so it's basically expanded not only your application base, but what you can do with your core product line as well.
Yeah, exactly. Being able to print full color on acrylics, not just laser engraving, but having that full color, that gives us a little bit of a heads up above other competitors.
Right. And speaking of that, what is it that you've been able to do to kind of make yourself unique and differentiate your business?
Well, one thing we've probably in the last 2.5 years, one thing we've done a lot of is tail flashes. And for those that don't really understand, that is like, the tail of an aircraft, and they have markings on them for specific units. So we're able to build those in our wood shop and have the blanks ready to be able to, print them and get them right out the door. So the customers don't have to wait an extended period of time. We're able to get those turned around.
Right. Are there some other things that you've done to make the output more efficient and actually, and boost quality at the same time.
Yes. By having these items ready to go, we're able to build them, multiples at a time. And that definitely cuts down on your costs of manpower, from your setup and everything like that. So you don't have to worry about that every time, breaking down and setting up equipment to be able to get those items out.
And we'll be right back after a word from our sponsor, PPAI.
The PPAI Expo is where the industry goes to build connections and discover insights for a successful year in promo. Backed by popular demand, the PPAI Expo Conference takes place January 9th. What better way to kick off the week than by learning from some of the most compelling professional speakers as well as numerous industry experts. You'll be provided with the education and tools you need to keep up with the latest trends and grow your business. Visit ppai.org/expo to view the schedule.
And we're back with Jeff Morgan of Recognitions, Awards, and more. Is there anything, particularly on the consumer side, we're talking about trophies, awards, custom gifts. Are there certain items that you see that, for whatever reason, seem to be moving better than others right now?
Customizable gifts seem to be doing well. I think, not talking tumblers. I think that market's getting saturated, even though they keep coming out with new tumblers and different water bottles. There'll probably always be a place for those, but I think other custom gifts are coming around right now.
Right.
The cutting boards or charcuterie boards that people have, those have become real popular in our area.
Right. Is there like one or two most important lessons that you learned as far as running the business?
Always try new things. As my wife calls them, happy accidents. Yeah. Sometimes it wasn't what you meant to do, but it turned out and it looked pretty cool.
Yeah.
The UV, depending on what you're printing on, if you don't put a white base down on it, then you let that the background kind of come through your design some. That really has sometimes a really terrific effect and just kind of wows the customer when they see it.
Right. So it's a matter of experimenting. And it sounds like there's a lot of experimenting with the UV printing. What are some of the effects that you're achieving with UV printing that you've found that have been effective?
Going back to our retirement plaques with our ribbons, the military ribbons that we print on there, the devices, which are little metal devices for, it's like an additional award for each of those ribbons.
Yeah.
We will print clear over just that device part and build up like 5 or 6 layers of clear, and it gives the feel and appearance that there's an actual device on there. So, it gives it that texture feel. We try and, use that as a selling point for anybody that, comes in and looks at those.
Yeah.
That clear spot gloss on a lot of different things, business cards, printing your own business cards or business cards for other people. That spot gloss on a black just really pops.
Well, that's pretty cool. Are there trends that you're seeing in the market and just generally in the graphics market that you're keeping an eye on to understand for, how to respond to that through your business practices?
One of the biggest trends probably now, and it's probably a lot since COVID, is the homemaker or the home crafters that are out there selling.
Yeah.
Granted, we're selling on those platforms as well.
Sure.
But, we've got brick and mortar where, a lot of people are selling from their home, which is great if you're, trying to, start something new, being an entrepreneur and such. But, for a lot of people with brick and mortars, it really it's tough to compete with those folks because they don't have the overhead. So being able to price your items, you have to set yourself above by whatever little thing that you can add that somebody else can't, that's a home crafter maybe.
Can you give me an example of that? I mean, because I think that's important to understand what your capabilities are and then to respond and and show the consumer, show that customer how you do go above and beyond?
We'll try to throw in a little freebie gift, so to speak, that might, get us another sale, later down the road, but also kind of differentiate us between, somebody that just does one thing and sells that. We manufacture it's a 463L pallet, which they load cargo onto to be able to put into airplanes and move lots of cargo very quickly. So we've been making these pallet, we call them a pallet plaque, and it looks just like a miniature pallet, and then we put plaques on them. So we sell quite a few of those to a lot of the military customers, and we will throw in a little packet of 5 stickers for their unit. Something else, it's a little freebie for them if they don't want to purchase anymore. But it kind of shows, it shows what else you can do. We also throw in little brochures of all of our other products, a little sampling of other products that we can offer customers. So being able to be more than just one thing is probably a bonus.
Okay, I see. So they might buy something for you. They might buy an award, for example, and you want to inform them that, hey, this isn't the only thing that we do. We can do an awful lot of different custom gifts, custom products for you.
Right. Get your name out there, because, they hand them the gift and then the person, say, leaves the company or leaves the unit there. And, the next people coming through, where did we get that award or who got that? Nobody knows. So make sure leave something that has your information on it so they can purchase later, or making sure that you have your sticker with your company information on the back of the products. That has been that will get you a lot of repeat sales right there. Is make sure you always put your company sticker on the awards.
Right. And do you think that for example, if I bought something from Etsy, and it's not exactly what I thought it would be. Maybe the quality isn't quite there. The colors are off. Sometimes you get stuff like that. Is that to me seems like a good differentiation, is that you're consistent in the quality, that they're wowed by what they get, and maybe it's turnaround. Do you find that those things are helping you differentiate as well?
Yes, the turnaround is a big one. We'll get reviews going, wow, I ordered this 6 days ago and it's, I already have the item in hand. And then we'll get some other folks that go, the picture doesn't do it justice. So with a lot of things, I think everybody tries to take the picture of the item that you're going to post, for sale, and you make it look the best that you can. Because obviously you don't want to send a picture that looks like junk. But, I've done that before. Like you said, you purchase something and you get it and it's like, well, it kind of looks like that picture. I always want to make sure that the pictures look just as good as the product does on a bad day.
On a bad day, right?
Yeah.
Have you found is there a method to that madness that you found to help ensure that it does?
Quality checks. Making sure that, my shipping guy, he's kind of our final quality check on anything going out. And if there's any issues with it, he'll bring it to our attention, and either it doesn't go out or, we'll ship another one out that is 100% quality.
Right.
So, that is probably the key to us being in business as long as we have, is people know that they're going to get a quality display or a quality product. Because we are probably the hardest on ourselves. My wife and I, if I say print something and I think it's off a little bit, I'll always take it into her and go, look at this. What are you seeing? So, having to redo it sometimes, that it in a business, that's not great, but it will keep those customers coming back time after time.
And what have you found works best for you to get the word out about you, about recognitions awards?
Word of mouth. Word of mouth is still huge.
Okay. And I guess establishing word of mouth too. And I guess that kind of goes back to the whole quality Right.
quality and being in the game the longest, I guess, because over 20 years now of building displays for us on the, the shadow box side, that says a lot for companies if they're, especially these days, if people are still in business after 20 years.
Yeah, that's true. Why do you think you've been in business for 20 years? Most small businesses fail pretty quickly.
Loving what you do. If it's something you love, then it's really not work. And that will show through on your products if you love what you do.
What is it that you like most about it?
This was a pretty large project about 10 years ago now, where we made a huge display for a 33-year Marine sergeant that he had a lot of stuff he was putting in this display. And it took us a while to get it done. And it was the shape of a very large book. It was about 6.5 foot tall, 4 foot wide, and like 2 foot deep. I mean, we're talking huge. But so we were delivering it to the gentleman, and we had to tear it apart into a few pieces to get it to move it into where he wanted it in his basement. And we carried the first piece in, and then we come back, and he was standing there looking at the other stuff with tears in his eyes. And, you did it right when you see that emotion.
Yeah.
Because Marines aren't, they're the big, tough, burly type. So,
right.
I knew right then, I was like, okay, we hit the mark with this.
Yeah.
And you do that with, smaller plaques as well. When it really means something to the customer that, you've done a great job, and, they'll remember that for life.
Yeah. And it sounds like it's analogous to the same kind of payoff you see like on the home makeover shows, interior design shows, where they reveal right, is the payoff.
Yeah.
Oftentimes. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. Well, I want to thank you so much for sharing your story with us, your time, your perspective, and your expertise based on 20 years of business. And here's to 20 more. And I appreciate again your time.
All right. Thanks, Regan. You guys have a great day.
Okay, you too. Thanks again to our guest, Jeff Morgan, and to our sponsor, PPAI. Look for recognitions, awards, and more at webrecognitions.com and PPAI at ppai.org. If you're looking for perspectives, education, tips, tricks, news, videos, and more, all focused on your business and connecting you to experts in the field, your peers, suppliers, and manufacturers, go to graphics-pro.com. And for convenient regional events catering to graphics professionals across America, check out graphics-pro-expo.com. You can find this podcast at your favorite platform, whether it's Spotify, Apple Podcast, or SoundCloud. You can also browse the archives at graphics-pro.com. Thanks again for listening, and until next time, adios amigos.